All right, boys and girls, welcome once again to the Real Life on the Bass Kayak and Beers podcast. As always, it's your boy Armando. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to give us a shout out here and let us know where you're watching. And welcome once again to the Real Life. Today we have a great episode. I got Darren Williams. Darren Williams just won the North Texas Kayak Championship on what was it, Texoma, on Lake Texoma, and I'm excited to have him on the show. You know, this year I've made it a mission to kind of promote the North Texas Kayak Championship that is run by Duke Trent for Mariner Sales. God, I can't talk today. I'm trying to get here on Facebook and also share. By the way, which reminds me, feel free to share this video. That way more people can log in and watch it. But yeah, we're trying to promote the North Texas Kayak Championship. I think it's a great trail. Duke Trang does an amazing job with the Lone Star Throwdown and all the great stuff he does. Plus, Mariner Sales is one of the best kayak shops here in Texas, especially here in the DFW area. And also, so also promote the anglers that are taking part in this type of trails. You know, I know they have so much fun. With the North Texas Kayak Championship. And I also want them to come onto the show and talk about what they love more about, fishing the North Texas Kayak Championship. Again, it's a great tournament. So that's what we're going to do today. And again, give me a second here. I'm all over the place today. Here we go. Here's the tab I'm looking for, so I can share it with the guys and girls from the North Texas Kayak Championship. There you go. So again, if you are watching, let us know where you're watching from. Also, for those that are listening to our MP3 format, as some of you know, these episodes air on Monday. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, feel free to give us your 5-star reviews. It does help out with the growth of the podcast. Follow us, me and Dan Perry, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok on the Bass Kayak and Beers. Give us your feedback about the show. Any topics, anybody that you want us to have on the show to talk about a specific topic, let us know. We'll try to do the best to hit those topics that you want to hear and talk to the people that you want to hear from. As a reminder, the Advanced Kayak Angler is hosted by Dan Perry. That's every Wednesday. And he goes into, tips and tricks to help you improve your kayak fishing experience. But that's it for me. Let's bring our next guest, Darren Williams, to the show. Darren, thank you so much, man, for taking time to be here on the podcast.
Appreciate you.
You're cutting off a little bit there, Darren, but hopefully my listeners can hear you.
Am I coming in better?
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
So congratulations on winning the North Texas Kayak Championship at Texoma. I know you've won, especially at North Texas Kayak Championship a couple of years ago with big money on the line. So tell us a little bit about, what happened on Texoma. Have you fished it before? What did you get to pre-fish it? If not, what type of research you did to help you prepare for this tournament?
Well, I have fished it before. Usually fish up by the dam around Eisenhower on the Texas side, and I just figured that's where everybody was going to go, and I kind of wanted to get away and do something a little different. So I went to another major, without giving everything away, I went to another big marina. And I went in blind. I wasn't able to pre-fish, but everybody knows I like to finesse fish. So I just, took a chance, went to a big marina, and I know they have a lot of tournaments out of, and, I know a lot of fish are released. So I just went in there and just did my thing.
I know it's, it takes a big man to admit that you like finesse fishing, because everybody that you ask is like, I like power fishing. But when you say finesse fishing, so what we're talking about, drop shot, net rigs, what do you consider finesse fishing?
Well, I mean, drop shot's my thing. I mean, a lot of people know that's what I like to do. I like to throw a wacky worm or drop shot. I'll be honest with you, 99% of the time, that's what I threw Texoma. I had a drop shot in my hand the whole time. I did throw a top water first thing in the morning. Driving up there, though, they had all these storms, and I'm thinking, man, all lightning and storms, that, in my mind, that messes it up. I mean, for the top water. I didn't hear if anybody caught top water, but I don't know. I had it in my mind it wasn't going to happen. So I tried it for a minute or two, put it up, got the drop shot out. I mean, immediately I was hooked up to my first and only smallie, and I just kept the drop shot in my hand. I did throw a Carolina rig a little bit, and I caught a few on that, but mainly 99% of the time it was a drop shot.
Did not all your, I don't know if all your bass, but at least your top 5 bass, did it all come on the drop shot, or was it a mix of Carolina rig, drop shot, and other things?
Everything was on a drop shot again, 99% of my fish came on a drop shot. I'll be honest, one fish I caught on the Carolina rig, but I really didn't throw it much. I feel like I didn't have a small enough leader on there. I could have downsized a little bit. It's so clear. The marina I chose, it was out of the wind. And I mean, it was like an aquarium in there. So you really had to, drop down your hook size. And I mean, just small wire, small line. I was able to get away with 10-pound test. I figured I was going to have to go to 8, but it worked. So I kept the 10 on. But I just all hooks and I nose hooked them, that drop shot. Normally I Texas rig it, but luckily I was able to do it, and my hookup rate was really good. I didn't miss hardly any fish.
That's an interesting point. When you say you drop, like I've always thought when you like Texas rig your drop shot, it's because you're kind of like fishing grass or brush piles that you don't want it to. But in this case, is that the same way that you think about it? Like if I'm fishing where I can get snagged, and I'm using a Texas rig drop shot, and otherwise will be just kind of like nose hook. What is your, how do you decide which one you're going to go with?
Well, I about most of the time I'm Texas rigging it, and I had pretty good luck with that. But up here, I just noticed that there was really not any grass and stuff where I was at. So I was able, if you can get away with a nose hook, it's just a hookup so much better, Mm-hmm. So that's what I chose to do. I just didn't have a lot of stick ups in there. There was a little bit, and I did get hung up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
I know another point that I wanted to touch on, because I know it's always a debate with anglers. Like when water clarity, like in Texoma, and like you were saying in the area where you were fishing, it was like, well, you say it was like an aquarium. How much visibility would you say? Like 5, 6, 10 feet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see it. I'm sure I could see 5 to 8 feet in certain areas.
How much does a different play, in the size of the line? And are you talking about fluorocarbon, braid, or when you say you downsize your line, what type of line or lead are you using that you're downsizing?
Oh, I use Cigar. I was using VizX. I had 10-pound test, and I mean, I just like the smaller line. Just gives a little better presentation, because I mean they can just makes your bait so much. The smaller the line, the better the action, I think. But you want to use heavy line you can get away with, so you don't lose them. But sometimes if you're not getting bit, you can downsize that line and you'll get bit.
At any point, did you downsize? Did you start it off with a bigger test line and then you weren't getting the bites and then downsize?
I started with 10-pound test, and like I said, when I started drop shotting, I immediately got a bite. I caught a 15.5-inch smallie and got it on the board. And almost immediately, I got out there and hooked into another one that broke me off. That was the only one I lost. Broke me off. I mean, it was a big fish, but I had a fray in my line or something. My drag was working good. Just, I don't know what happened, but it's one of them smallies. I could tell it was a big one. I mean, it was a good smallie, but it broke me off. And I was just in a little flat. I mean, I wasn't even in the marina really. I started at the boat ramp. And I mean, I was in real shallow water, early in the morning, I couldn't even really see. And then, you could just see activity everywhere. There was carp and gar and stuff everywhere. But, and I have live scope. I could see fish. I mean, I could see them down there. And sure enough, they were in there.
How much do you think live scope, amplifies you as an angler and your ability to catch fish?
I'll be honest, it's my first year with it. And I don't know if I would have done any better with, I don't really help me that much. I use it as a tool. I didn't per se see a fish, throw at that fish and catch that fish. I would get into a certain area, like this first place I'm talking about, and I could see fish. Well, I know I'm in an area that's got fish, so and that, but when they're on the bottom and stuff, you can't really see them. I can't anyway, but I'm still learning. I'm in the learning stages of that, but it's a neat tool to have. You can see rock structure and, things to throw at, but I didn't necessarily say, oh gosh, there's a big fish, I'm gonna throw it at and catch him. I didn't do any of that. But
So, any fish that you found using live scope, you would you say you would have been able to find it with a good depth finder or side scan?
oh yeah, I think so. Like I said, I didn't depend on my live scope at all. I mean, I was just using it as a tool, and a lot of the fish you're seeing. There was so much. I'm sure everybody will contest to this. There was so much gar and carp, and you could just see them everywhere. Matter of fact, I hooked into one that's probably 5 foot long. I lost I don't know, $12-15 lure on a jerk bait snagged in the. I fought it for about 10 minutes. I thought, man, I can't jack around with this. Finally, just broke it off. But his tail was big as a volleyball. It was pretty cool. But there's that lake is definitely healthy. I didn't get any stripers or anything. A lot of guys said they caught a lot of stripers, but I know they're there. But just the way I was fishing, I didn't see any.
How much have you fished the Texoma before, and have you had great experience fishing? Like, I know Texoma is famous for the smallmouth bass. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Texoma as one of your favorite lakes? And
What?
And do you think there's the reputation for big smallmouth bass is real?
Oh yeah. Well, a good friend of mine, he went back the day after the tournament, caught one almost 22 inches out there.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I don't fish Texoma that much. A good friend of mine, Jeff White, he loves that lake. He's also a tournament director. Big shout out to Jeff. I don't know if he's watching tonight, but
great guy.
Yeah, he runs a really good tournament, Sunday derbies. But he put me on Texoma. We go out there a lot. Like I said, we put in Eisenhower, the dam. We'll fish around them down there. But there are some, and I yet to catch a big smallie. They're there. I don't know. I haven't caught one yet. I don't have the knack, I guess.
Looks like you have president of your fan club, Alicia Williams, saying, "Go Dad, don't forget about your gar." That's your daughter?
That's my number one fan right there. I don't go a tournament ever without her texting me in the morning telling me good luck.
That's awesome.
Look, she's a big time fly fisherman, man. She's mean on that fly rod, let me tell you.
Nice. We're
heading to Montana next weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going fly fishing for 5 days.
What around Montana at this time of the year? Are you going for trout or?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
We may go up into Yellowstone. I'm not sure where we're going to go yet. Of course, the rivers are all getting blown out right now because all the snow melt. But
yeah,
my mother-in-law lives up there. She'll put us on them, I'm sure.
So let's go back to talking about Texoma. Now it looks like there wasn't much of an adjustment you had to make. You said 99% of your fish came on, on drop shots. Was there any point where you felt like you needed to change colors or baits within your drop shot just to activate that bite once again? How hard was it to get that? Well, I know it wasn't hard because I'm looking at Tony X and you had 10 bass, and I'm sure you had at least that you submitted plus a bunch more than I'm sure you didn't get to submit because they weren't gonna call.
Yeah, they were too small. I did catch quite a few fish. And man, I was just the worm I had first. I don't mind telling you, it was a roboworm, and it was the worm I used from the start to the finish. I didn't have that's the one I went with, and like I said, I probably could have caught them on Carolina rig, but it's hard to put something down when you're catching them,
Yeah,
and I'm catching pretty good fish, They're just solid fish. It was really a good time. I've not ever had that good a day at Texoma, to be honest. I don't fish it very much, but I did choose that marina, like I said, because it was out of the wind. We had all them storms and stuff come through that night. It was I was really worried. It rained on me for a little while. I caught fish in the rain, but it turned out to be a really nice day.
Did the rain affect in any way the bass feeding? I've had it where uh there's storms in the morning, and as soon as the storms leave and the sun comes out, I don't know, I've heard the theory that I've heard the most is, especially on summer, that cold water from the rain, it starts sinking, and that warmer water that was on the top starts going up now, that got pushed down with the rain starts going up, and that starts activating the bass. And I'm no marine biologist, so that's what I've heard. What is your take on it, and did it play a part? Did you notice a difference before, during, or after the rain as far as the bite?
Well, I mean, it rained on me. It didn't really rain enough to do any, to change anything like that. But I caught fish during the rain. I was taking pictures, when it was pouring on me. I took a few pictures. I don't know if they were any of them that I submitted or not, but I think I did catch one of them during the rain. But yeah, it didn't rain enough. That morning it just came a real quick downpour, and then it kind of went away, and it was just so nice the rest of the day. I mean, I had to take all my stuff off. It just got so hot in my bibs, But yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't catch 50 fish or anything like that, but it was just steady, from the start.
How many fish did you caught?
I probably caught, maybe 20 fish.
That's a good day. That is a good day.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know how to compare Texoma really, but I mean, I think I caught 95 and a half inches. I guess that's pretty good day on Texoma. What I hear.
Oh yeah, no, your total was, I think, 93 inches.
95.
95, and I think the second place was 93 inches. So yeah, no, that I don't know. I haven't seen a tournament, and I'm sure there might have been one at some point. But as far as kayak fishing goes, I haven't heard of a tournament in Texoma that's gotten 100 inches. It's usually, low 90s will get you a win. So congratulations. 95 is, nothing to sneeze about on that lake.
Yeah, I was real happy.
It doesn't have the reputation of like a Lake Fork or an OHIV, but it does have the reputation of having those mean smallmouth bass at a decent size, or great size, actually, for Texas standards as far as smallmouth bass go.
Yeah, I think the guy that got big bass, well, I know it was a friend of mine got that. He beat me by a quarter inch, dadgummit. Well, I'm happy for him, but still, 1100 fish, I needed a half inch longer, I guess, to beat him. But he caught a 21 3/4 inch smallie. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good fish.
That's like here in Texas. That's like a 26-inch largemouth bass.
yeah, that's a rarity. And then, like I said, my buddy Eric Simeon, he went out the next day and caught that one almost the same. It was 21 and a half. It's 21 and a half inches. I mean, a big one. It was big fish. So I need to get him to post that. So everybody, it was big. But
yeah, no, that definitely is a great lake for smallmouth bass. How would you compare to other lakes, in Texas? Where would you rank Texoma?
Oh gosh, well, I guess since I just won on there, I'd rank it pretty high.
Yeah, right.
I'm anxious to get back out there. It's definitely, out of 10, probably an 8 for me. I'd love to get back out there. I like that opportunity to catch that big smallie. I haven't been able to do it yet. So.
Once I noticed, looking at your Tourney X history, and talking to you on the pre-recording, you've won, in the North Texas Kayak Championship in Lake Worth, which is traditionally a tough lake to fish. It's one of those county lakes where it's just a tough place to fish. I mean, I shout out to anybody that can get a 5-back limit on that lake. You've done pretty well at Broken Bow for the Hobie BOS last year. You've done pretty well you did great actually at Cattle Lake for the Hobie BOS this year. What is your favorite lake here in Texas? Oh, not necessarily in Texas, but what's your favorite lake to bass fish?
Well, I tell you, hands down is Caddo for me. I mean,
yes,
that lake is it's just something about it, I don't know. I love it. I mean, not because I did well. I mean, I loved it before that, but it's just a fun place to go. Beautiful place.
Yeah, it is.
My favorite lake to go, hands down.
Where do you, if you don't mind me asking, Darren, and you don't have to give me your whole address, but where in general do you live? Because you fish at Fort Worth, you fish at Broken Bow, you fish at Scotto. So where do you kind of general area where you live here in Texas?
Well, I live in Burleson, Texas, which is just south of Fort Worth, 20 minutes.
Yep.
And most tournaments, it seems like, I'm driving an hour and a half, 2 hours. I like going to these Texas lakes. I got lakes 20 minutes from me that are good fisheries. Alvarado Lake, Benbrook, got a huge bass in it.
Benbrook, Russ Pinkerton, I've fished with him there, and he has a knack for getting those big bites in Benbrook.
There are some big fish there. I don't. People probably get mad at me telling them that, but it's known,
Yeah,
but
they're not as easy to catch though. You would think a lake because it's not a big lake really.
Yeah,
I mean it can be a tough lake, but yeah, and they're really deep. Like I've caught some big old bass, but generally they're like in 20, 30 feet of water easily.
Yeah,
especially on summer.
Yeah, now I do like flipping too. I do like to finesse fish, but I also like getting in the reeds and flipping and flipping trees and stuff. With a jig and stuff like that. That's another thing I like to do. But
what's been your best finish at any tournament?
Money wise, or
both. Let's assume money wise, and you could have made 100 inches and ended up third place, right? It all depends on the lake and the way it fishes. But what's been your biggest bass and what's been your biggest purse? I guess those two questions.
Well, the one at Caddo, that was my biggest. I think it was couple $1,000.
You ended up fourth place, right?
Fourth place, yeah. And I tell you, man, that it was a heartbreaker because I threw a wacky worm the whole time there. And the last hour and a half, I picked up a drop shot. I threw a drop shot. I swear to God, first cast, I catch a 23.5 inch. First cast with a drop shot, 23.5 inch. I went 5 minutes down the tree line. I hooked into another one that was as big, and I couldn't do anything with it. It was behind the trees. But if I'd have got that one, it'd have been a different story. But woulda, coulda, shoulda type deal. But
yeah. Everybody
loses fish, but it was really something. Last hour and a half, I picked up a drop shot, same worm I used here, and I just started catching them. A 23.5, lost that one, and I upgraded with that drop shot in an hour and a half. So it was really cool.
What, without giving away too much, but in general, what area of the lake were you fishing in Caddo? Were you like south, central, north, east, west of the lake?
Oh, let me see where was we? Where Tucker's is?
No. Are you on the? Well, let's start with this. Are you on the Louisiana side or the Texas side?
Well, I was actually on the. I can't remember. It was on the Texas side, I believe. Yeah, down by Tucker's. It's the next ramp down from Tucker's. Everybody knows Tucker's. It's kind of a popular place. I can't remember the name of that place where we started. Not trying to be.
It feels like you don't want to say it. It's just fine.
I just can't.
No, don't worry about it.
Hey, listen, there was a million people there. It wouldn't have mattered. Everybody knows about it. So we put in that first morning. I swear there was a boat tournament. We rented a little house right up from there. It's a marina. It's the oldest marina on the lake. It's a low shack, but if that helps anybody. So,
is it near Johnson's branch or?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah.
So did you go, because Johnson's branch is kind of central? Did you just kind of stay central? You went south or north?
Yeah, I just put in right there at the marina.
Oh, right there at the marina.
Fishing. I got.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but let me tell you. There was everybody was around me. It was just crazy fishing, but I don't know, whatever reason, I caught some good ones. It was a pretty fun day.
So what's been your biggest bag? Now, we know that's your biggest purse. So now what's been your biggest bag limit?
My very first tournament, it was North Texas tournament, and it was on Lake Fairfield. I had never in my life fished a tournament ever. It was North Texas tournament. Now I bet there was 130 130 people there, and I never fished. And a friend of mine who's passed away recently, Sean Raleigh, he got me into this. He's the one who got me started into this stuff. And I went up there not knowing anything about anything, and I got almost 100 inches. I mean, first fish I caught, it jumped my board. It's one of them deals, I didn't know what I was doing. And it's kind of a funny story. I guess I can tell you, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was putting these fish in as sand bass instead of bass, okay? So, and I knew that I had good fish. I mean, I knew, it ended up I had almost had 99 inches. And I just didn't know. I didn't realize, hey, man, they started, I did catch big bass that day too. I caught big bass, which was 22 inches. And he starts going down the list from top 10. It paid from top 10 all the way down. And he got to me. I thought, man, I won this thing. And he didn't call my name. And he'd already get it. And so I went up there and said, man, Duke, something's wrong. I know I had more inches than some of these guys. So he starts looking at it and goes, oh, crap. I had told him about it. He just, he forgot to change it. I still had 2 bass that were sand bass in there. So we had to call everybody back that already got on the road with trophies and that. And I ended up getting second place my very first tournament, Fairfield.
Very first tournament.
Yeah, I got a big bass in second place. That was probably like $1,500-$1,600, something like that. That's another one of my good paydays. My very first time ever. So I do like Fairfield. I hate that it's gone away, but
yeah, no, Fairfield. I think that's probably my favorite lake in Texas. I think it's officially. I know they reopened for a little bit until they were. But I don't know if they close back up again.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be open. I mean, long term, I don't think it's going to be open to us. I hate it. Yeah,
it is. It's a great fishery. It's a great lake. Anybody that hasn't gone to Fairfield, if you get a chance to go before it closes, if in fact it's still open, you should definitely give it a try. Because it is a beautiful lake. A lot of wildlife. I talk about this on the podcast all the time. I love the wildlife surrounding, in Fairfield. There's stuff there you won't see anywhere else in any other lakes, not just bass, but yeah, it's a great lake. But so, and then you got Fort Worth, Lake Worth, actually, right? That's the one you actually won in North Texas Kayak Championship. That was about about $1,500. What was, if you remember, what was your bag on that tournament?
I don't recall. I can tell you we had a huge storm that day, and they had to cancel the tournament. But I had caught like a 24. I mean, I did for Lake Worth. I caught a 24-inch fish. I got big bass.
Really?
I don't remember my length, but it was probably 90. It was over 90 something. But I remember that. A huge storm came up. Tracy Dugan, who's a tournament director.
Yeah.
Me and him got into a little boat slip, and the wind was blowing sideways, and we were just hunkered down forever. And it was lightning, so the lightning stopped. So we thought, okay, we can get back out and go fishing. I went back out where Tracy had already been fishing. This is funny, and I went where he was already been fishing. I caught a 19.5 inch, and the lightning started up again. So we both had to go back that same thing. And I was telling him about that fish I just caught. He goes, "You got to be kidding me!" It was funny. I guess type of deal. But like I said, that wind was blowing sideways. They did not cancel it, but I think it
ended it earlier.
Yeah, they had to end it a little bit early. But I had a pretty good bag. It was a 90-something inches. I just don't remember. But that 24 inch goes a long way, And then I had 19 and I don't know. I remember I missed another big fish that day. I was flipping a jig in the reeds. It was pretty fun. That's another of my favorite things. But I've played several times, second and third and stuff in some tournaments that they've had.
Have you ever done enough on a trail to chase for AOY? Is that even a goal that you have?
Oh, yeah. Last year, I was this is my worst year as far as AOY. Last year, I was in second place pretty much. I'm usually in the top 10, just about every year. But this year, I don't know, I got a slow start. They had a fish kill at Granbury, and I was in the wrong spot. I didn't do my research, fishing the wrong spot, and I didn't get a bite. I had pre-fished, and man, when I went down there and pre-fished, I did really well. And I went back and fished, and I didn't get bite one. Now the guys that put in over there by me, they went way back up in the freshwater stuff, and I think the guy won it. I think maybe I don't remember who.
Aaron Page
might have been.
Yeah, I think Aaron Page and Christian Cooper. I think they're pretty good on I thought they were close to the. Can't remember. I know I had Aaron Page on but I think they were like jerk baits on the main lake kind of thing.
Yeah, that was that. I got that just killed me there. I've never skunked. I don't think in one of their tournaments, but well.
When you look at the talent level that we have in Texas, which I think kayak fishing, and I don't follow much of the board tournament, the MLF or the Bassmaster Elite or Invitational, none of that I really follow. But I do follow a lot on the kayak fishing, and I always compare. I think the states that have the most talent by far, it's either Texas and Tennessee. Right, Tennessee has a great angler with Jordan Marshall, Ewan Miner, and and a whole host of other great tournaments from their area. Here in Texas, you got Matt Scott, you got Rolando Landin, you got Guillermo Gonzalez, you got a whole bunch of great anglers, Brian Scarberry, J.R. Malkaby. There's so many that I'm sure I'm disrespecting a few by not mentioning them, but you all get the idea, right? There's a great talent here as far as bass fishing and kayak bass fishing. When you think about that talent level that you are here and the success that you had, like, how do you rank yourself? How do you see yourself among your peers that are doing national trails and catching check consistently? I
mean, I like to think I'm competitive with them. I enjoy fishing against the best, to be honest. I mean, I don't like bragging on myself. I try to do the best I can. Me and my buddies go out. The guys I fish with they're some of the better fishermen around, and we always put $1 up. And seems like lately I've been giving a lot of dollars away.
So is it the one who wins gives $1 away, or the one who loses gives $1 away?
Well, if you lose, you got to give up $1 bill, and the guy that caught either big bass or 5 limit.
Oh, okay.
So see here, I got a little trophy room here. I put all my dollars. I pin them up on the wall, but. I had been lately. I quit doing that because I got in my mind a little bit. I said, "Screw it! I'm not going to do this anymore until I start winning again." So, but I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm not really that great on grass lakes, but I like to do it. I think Welsh is our next one, and it's a grass lake. The power plant lake. Of course, I don't think they'll have the power plant going, but I really don't know about that.
And then I think the championship is at Athens.
That's Athens.
As grassy as it comes here in Texas.
Athens. I mean, I've caught a lot of good fish. I've won some money on there with like monthlies and stuff. But when it comes tournament time, I just can't put 5 together for some reason. I mean, I catch fish, but it's something different there. I need to spend some time on that lake, figure it out.
It can be tough. Like, I've gone through Athens and I've had great days, and I go to Athens and I've had tough days that it struggled to get a bite. It's not like I can, when you compare like Grassy Lakes, Fairfield, I know when I go to Fairfield, I may not have the best day ever, but I know I'm going to have a good day.
Yeah.
Unless weather is really, just kind of like off the wall. But on normal days, it's just a consistent bite. Athens is, and I've heard, I don't know how true it is, I've heard a lot that some of the share lunkers that are, donated for spawning, they get released back to that lake. I don't know how true that is, but I've definitely caught some biggins, and I've lost some biggins on that lake that you're like, man, that is a monster bass. So it seems like it's feast or famine with that lake. It can be really, really tough, but when the bite is good, and you can say that about most lakes, I guess. But I think in Athens, just because, especially in summer, when the lily pads and the grass just seems to overgrow, and you can't always access those areas that you would have on winter, it can make it a little bit tougher.
I think one of our tournaments, one of the guys, it's been a while back, I can't remember even who it was, but it was almost a 12-pounder. He caught one. It was almost 12 pounds out, 11 something. So there's monsters in there,
Oh, they are. It's one of my favorite lakes, actually. I really enjoy fishing Athens. I haven't gone in a while. It's been a minute since I haven't gone to Athens, but
I'm anxious to get out there since I got live scope and just see if I can find, grass lines and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that'll help me on those, but we'll see. I mean, I'm excited about it. But
What
his butt around.
what is on your bucket list of tournaments that you want to win, other than obviously the TOC and the Bassmaster Championship? What is some of the, when is there any particular lake that you want, to fish and win, or what's on your agenda?
Well, like I said, Caddo I really wanted that one. I wanted to go to the TOC, and I missed it by one spot. And man, I would love to go St. Clair someday. If they ever have a tournament up there, and get into that. But it's just so far up there. It's just But that's a bucket list lake for me to fish. And I'd like to win AOI. I've been close a few times, and but I don't think we ever talked, but they also had a little deal at Texoma, the first limit. That's kind of what got me going.
Yeah.
I had the first limit on Texoma, and I was catching fish and putting them in there, and I thought, man, everybody, they're hammering them, but I'm catching fish. I looked at the leaderboard and I was leading, and I thought, oh my gosh, I got a chance to win this. So I got that. I won the first limit, so that helped out a little bit too. I think it was $100.
Yeah, and that's the thing about what I love about North Texas Kayak Championship, and shout out to Duke Tran, because Duke Tran is great at getting sponsors, and actually like sponsors that are not endemic to the sport of fishing. And you get sponsors that'll pay. Well, I remember there was a time where whoever was the last one out of the money would actually get paid a check from the sponsors that was more than the last guy in the money, which I thought it was ironic. I was like, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
And big bass, it pays. I mean, it pays ridiculous sometimes. Which tournament was it? The one that Aaron Page won? I know there was a tournament that was like, man, the guy that won big bass won more money than the one that actually won the tournament. And again, there's kind of something wrong with it, but at the same time, it's credit to Duke Tran in the sense that he gets all the sponsors. You have great prices, and
the guy that got big tournament, he won more than I did. Plus he got big smallies, so they gave a black pack to him, which is, what's that worth, $100 and something?
Yeah.
So he got that, and I mean, he cleaned up for one fish. I don't think he had a limit, but he had the big lifetime smallie, fish of a lifetime. A lot of people.
So to me, like I said, I'm jokingly not criticizing at all, but it was like, man, it's just something wrong. Like the winner should win most of the money, but I mean, it's still fun. And again, my point to it is shout out to Duke and the sponsors that are helping out, and everybody that's been helping out with North Texas Kayak Championship and Mariner Sales, because again, they got big bass, first one out of the money, the first one to a limit. It gives everybody a chance to win something.
Hey, I tell you, man, Arias and Mariner Sales, Duke, Tracy, all those guys, man, I give it, gosh. I mean, they don't just donate to this trail. I don't know if you're aware, they donate to a lot of other trails. I mean, I've been to tournaments where, Mariner Sales is giving up, $50 gift cards and $25, all kinds of stuff. They're giving batteries away. I mean, I'm not talking little stuff. I mean, $250, $500 batteries and stuff they're giving. It's just amazing.
Even the raffles, like even if you don't win, if you go to a raffle, there's a good chance you're gonna come up. Heck, the last time I went, I won a $300 battery. I'm like, man, that's pretty good for somebody that didn't catch 5 fish. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's in it for sure. Go the weigh-ins. But yeah, they just man, they go above and beyond. They do. A lot of times they'll cook for us, and they just love it. I guess. I mean, it's just I don't want to take them for granted. I hope no one else does, because it's a lot of work to do. Jeff White, what he does, he's got that little Sunday tournament, and I mean, people they'll gripe about the stupidest little stuff, and man, it's so much trouble. It's so much trouble. Money. I guarantee you, Duke over the years has put, don't tell him how much money out of his own pocket, and I can see Jeff's doing the same thing. And man, it's so appreciative for doing this, But anyway, I can't thank them enough for all they do.
No, they really do, and it makes it even more enjoyable. And again, they could be using their time to do something that's maybe more beneficial to them and their family. But
Yeah.
the fact that they take time and sacrifice so much to make it more enjoyable for us, it's something like you say we can't take for granted. What's next for you, Darren? What tournaments are you fishing this year other than the Ntxkc Kayak Championship? I know we got at least 3 national trails that are coming. We got, and I'll shout them out. We got Bassmaster Kayak Series coming up in Possum Kingdom in about 2 weeks. Then we got, I don't know which one comes first, but I'm gonna say the Hobie BOS at Sam Rayburn.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we got the Native Big Bass Power Hour, which is gonna be in Lake Fork. And I think that's October 28th.
I want to be there.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think that tournament might break attendance records as far as national trails goes.
I definitely want to do that. But yeah, I plan on being at Bass. I'm hoping. Like I said, it's coming at a bad time because I'm going to Montana, so it's going to be another one of those deals where I'll just have to show up and start fishing. Won't be able to pre-fish it, but on Possum Kingdom. But it's clear lake. Hopefully, it'll be clear. I think last time they had it was a mud hole out there. Last time they had a big tournament.
Yeah.
But fine clear water. But I think it'll be pretty good though. We'll see. But yeah, I plan on being there, and hopefully I get to fish the Hobie event. And yeah, that would be a blast to fish that big bass. I fished this year. I fished the first term of the year was down on Fayette. They had that big bass.
The Southeast, no, not Southeast anymore. Texas Kayak Bass League. Another great tournament director, Chris Morales.
Yeah. So I went down there and I caught let's see, I brought home some money. I at least paid for my gas. I won 1 hour. I don't remember what place it was. I didn't win the hour, so I think I got second. But anyway, I still won some money, a couple $100 or whatever it was. Actually, it was more than that. More people signed up than they thought. It turned out to be a pretty good deal. I can't remember how much it was. But
there was a lot of people signing up right at the very end. I thought, like, man, they're not getting the attendance. All of a sudden, the day of the tournament, you're like, holy crap, it went up to like 154. Like 100 people signed up at the last hour.
If you don't like fishing beside somebody, you might not want to do it because you're within cast of either direction of somebody. I mean, it was that crazy.
Yeah.
But when I caught, I mean, I could have threw it in any direction, hit somebody. But and it was when I get somewhere like that, I just try to think something different, like a tube or something somebody else not gonna be throwing,
A tube, man, I haven't heard anybody throwing the tube in Texas in a while.
I throw a tube. I throw it every once in a while. I'll pull it out, and it's a good bait. I mean, that used to be the bait a long time ago.
Yeah,
something different, put it on a chatterbait even. Take the skirt off, put that on a chatterbait. It works.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I never heard that one before. Yeah, I mean, I see how that might work. Yeah,
these fish are getting so educated. I mean, there's just so even the deep fish are getting used to hearing that pinging.
I was just about to say that. And I don't know. I mean, I've said it on the podcast before. Fish try to, not just fish, animals in general, they develop this instincts where, like, if you see a snake in bright colors, that tells you they're venomous, kind of thing. And and it's just an example. I'm sure there's a lot more and probably better examples than the one I'm using, but I'm not that educated, to be honest. But I think there's going to be a point where kind of bass can associate, they like, this sounds means trouble.
Yep. So. Yeah, it's already happened, I think. I really do. Which I like. And it's going to open it up for the guy that likes to fish the bank. It's going to open that up a little bit, and which I like. I'm not a deep water guy. I don't like going out, but it's fun. Have live scope, go out there in the wintertime, try to chase after them and stuff. But I still like shallow water stuff. All my fish, I didn't catch anything that deep. Texoma, they were all 5 to 10 foot and shallower. I mean, I didn't fish anything any deeper than that, to be honest.
You were pretty concentrated on the banks, even on drop shot. I always think drop shot, I'm fishing more than 10 feet, but that's not really the case.
I never fish more than 10 feet, hardly ever. And I'll throw a drop shot and, brush. I'll throw it up and, you'll get yourself in trouble sometimes, but, you get the bite where otherwise you wouldn't have got it. So
yeah,
look at it, And, there's a lot of times I've been heartbroken. Belton, I lost a big one out there, but they get up there and that big one, man, will just shake that weight, it's a lot of times it'll come off. Matter of fact, broken bow, the last 30 minutes, I had a big one on. I guarantee you, I don't know if it had been a big bass, but it burned close. It was probably, he came up out of the water. And it broke my heart to miss that one. But it wouldn't have won it for me, but I would have gotten up way, because the limits were so close to everybody. I don't remember that when it broke in bow.
It was kind of like Cotto, where everybody was like between.
Yeah.
Like I got like something like 70 inches, and I'm thinking, well, maybe top 50, and I was like, oh no, I'm in 134th. It's like it's crazy.
Man, they were on. Everybody was catching fish. It was crazy. How many limits were caught first day? It was crazy.
Yeah,
but I just
definitely.
I found a few better fish. It was pretty fun. But anyway.
Well, Darren, I thank you so much again for the time and coming up to the podcast and talking about the North Texas Kayak Championship and all the good stuff we talked about. I wanted to give you a couple of minutes. I know you wanted, which we kind of did already, give a couple of shout outs, but anybody else that you want to shout out and thank for helping you with your kayak fishing experience?
Well, like I said, with Duke and them and Eris and all he does for sure, and Tracy Dugan, they put in a lot of time. I don't mind giving them a big shout out. And my biggest supporter, my daughter, Alyssa, she called in a while ago. Like I said, I'm so proud of her. She's been through a lot this last year, but anyway, and all my family really supports me. I don't really. I used to fish for Hobie a couple of years ago, but right now I don't really fish for anybody. I don't have any sponsorships or any of that stuff. I'm just kind of doing my own thing, So, which I like. I like that, but
I guess you enjoy it more when you do it just for yourself.
Yeah, when you're fishing and you got to brag on yourself all the time and stuff, and I don't know, just didn't like it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Hobie. I'll never fish out of another kayak, but I fish out of a PA-14, and I love it. If anybody's on the fence on what to get, that's what I'd recommend. But I don't have trouble.
That's what I use. Yeah, I love it, and like you said, I had to replace my drive once. I've had to replace the whole ones, but I was like, I don't think I can ever go back to another. I do want to get, like I've said on the podcast many times, especially on the last few podcasts that I've recorded, like I want to get a river kayak because, PA-14 is now for skinny waters. So I'm in the market to get a river kayak. Yeah. So anybody that's watching or listening, message me, through social media. Let me know what river kayaks I should get. I've tried a bunch of them. That's on my bucket list of things that I want to get this year. But yeah, I don't, once you go with that the 360 drive in general, it's hard to go back to anything else.
Done that yet? I haven't got the 360. I've still got the 180 kick-ups, but I guess that'll be next once they're kind of proven to me now. They're proven. So
yeah.
But you might try a Diablo. I know a lot of guys like those. Guillermo.
I actually tried the Diablo. I was pleasantly surprised with it. It doesn't, I'm not, one thing when you're on a Hobie, one thing that Hobie does well, it's very customized. What's the word? Customizable? Is that the one I'm looking for? Where you can add your gadgets and all that. The deck on the Diablo is clean, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's just not having a bunch of stuff around me. And maybe if I get used to that, that'll be even better, because I know like a lot of anglers have said, you get all these gadgets, you start investing, and then there comes a point where you start pulling back a little bit. It says, let me get rid of stuff. Let me go more simpler.
Yeah.
Because, you find that it's like, how much is too much? And then you find that too much, and then you're like, okay, let's start pulling back a little bit. And then you start getting obsessed with going how simpler I can get.
I'm carrying.
I think that's where the point that I am right now.
there's no way I need to be carrying 12 rods. The day I picked up 3 rods, I got 10 or 12 on the kayak. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
but anyway, but I sure do appreciate you having me on. It was a fun time. I appreciate it.
No, man, I appreciate you for taking the time, and congratulations again. Looking forward to next tournaments, both nationally and locally, and good luck with the AOI and whatever else you plan on fishing this year. And hopefully we'll have you back on the show talking about another big win, another big check.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get back.
Problem. Yes, definitely. So for those out there listening, once again, go check out North Texas Kayak Championship if you're on the fence of getting on a tournament. And I'm not sponsored by them. I have, other than the respect that I have for Tracy Dugan and Duke Tran, I'm not tied or affiliated with Mariner Sales in any way. I am telling you, just like Darren's telling you, it's a fun time. It is great kayak shop too. Like I said, I've been sponsored by other people, and I know other social media content creators that were sponsored by the ACK and, Austin Canoe and Kayaks. And, Duke Tran would treat him just as they would treat anybody else. That's just the way he is. It's a great tournament. Lone Star Throwdown should be coming up in September. That's another one that we're all looking forward to, and that's always run by Duke Tran. So go check them out, North Texas Kayak Championship. And also, huge shout out to my sponsor, Douglas Rod. Go to check them out, Douglas Rod, DouglasOutdoors.com. Check out the full lineup of LRS, X Matrix, and award. My God, I can't talk. Award fishing spinning rods. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm tired, Darren. I had a long day at work. My mind is about to shut down. But if you're out there fishing, go wear your PFDs and make sure if you're going to have a couple of beers, you do drink responsibly. Make it home back to your loved ones. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Darren, thank